What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live Pendergast podcast. This is my second one today, and it's an absolute honor to sit down with my friend and the legend himself, Kyle Ohnsorg. I got that. Yes, there we go. I had to slow myself down. Got a little excited right there. But listen, before we get into this episode is sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. And Kyle, I say this to everybody. Don't spend your money on an off-the-rack suit. Please do not do it. What you need to do is go to bisontrack.com, get you a full custom suit. You see mine in the background.
Yeah.
My man Kyle right here has a bison suit too as well. It's easy. It's simple. You choose the color, the perforation, kangaroo, cowhide, air vest, water hump. Listen, the whole nine. It might sound a bit much, but believe me, it's not. It's super easy. Robert, Tasha, Carter, and Edith are some of the most amazing people you're ever going to meet in your life. Morgan, the girl that's going to do the designs and all that good stuff. Listen, love yourself. It's 2025, people. Put that off the rack suit, make it a backpack, do something with it, right? But get you a full custom one. Trust me, Kyle, tell them what a huge difference it makes.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the R&D one that got me for testing the Kramer at all?
I did.
The camo colors on that.
Yeah,
it was looking good, and felt good throughout the whole time. So I mean, we got a lot of hours testing that thing, and luckily didn't have to test the crash protection in it, but I have in other suits, and holds up well. So good stuff. Got him for this year, and excited about it.
Yeah, it's excited to have you part of the herd, man. Absolutely it is. So Kyle, man, we got a lot to talk about. So I just want to get right into it, man. Brief history of where it all started from you for Two Wheels.
Yeah, I mean, that's a loaded question for sure. I'll try and keep it short here. I mean, I've been in two wheels my entire life. My folks say before I was born even. My mom rode, my dad rode, so I was in her belly going around on track and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, that's my first number plate on a PW50 up there. First one ever. So it's started when I was 3 years old, going around racing. My older brother is a year and a half older, so I wanted to be like him. And we went every single weekend. District 23 stuff here in the Midwest, up in Minnesota, and that's kind of all we did as a family. It's good fun, and then made it up through 65s, 85s, 125, 250, ABC, whatever. I run 450A still. Just I enjoy doing it. Grew up doing motocross, a lot of ice racing in the winter here, right? So we get it's cold. There's no snow right now, which is wild, but we still have the cold. So I've been training a lot, ice riding, and you can drag handlebar on the ground if you want. I mean, it's not like the shoulder stuff with the big spikes, but I mean, you can really get sideways on the things. Yeah. So I like it more in supermoto, and it's right up there with road racing for sure. So did some hill climb for a little bit. And then when I was, I think 14, I had a buddy, say, hey, come try supermoto, see what this is like. And it was immediately quick and had fun sliding the bike around. And he stuck me on his 03 GSXR 600. And I was, from that moment, just hooked. It's like, oh man, I got to figure this out. And well, man, he was like, no, we're going to Loretta's this year on, 250 class, whatever. And he wanted me to nothing to do with sport bikes at all. So he said, if you want to do it, you got to buy your own bike, your own gear. So here I was, I was about 15, I had a friend that was going to take me to the track and whatever. Bought my own bike off Craigslist and had a suit that was 6 sizes too big, and off I went. So, and then after did my couple track days, was quick at it. Then got into road racing proper here in CRA, so Central Road Racing Association in the Midwest. I know they got one out west now too, but whole thing. I did it on that bike and won the New Rider Championship thing and whatever. And I went and immediately high-sided it. I mean, it was for a 300-pound dude, and then me with, I think it was 125 pounds at the time. Didn't work out. So learned a bit about suspension on that one, right? And then my dad helped me get I bought the R6 and he bought the suspension and whatnot for it, and then just kind of went around, and I think I was an expert by the end of that season. Went down to the Daytona Race of Champions at the end of the year, did the Azure race, and because I lost at the line to Jason Farrell by like 0.02 or something of a second. Battle with Mesa and all those guys. So yeah, no, it was good. But yeah, that's kind of it. And then um, moved up through, got some good support from some great people, and just kind of hopping around, did some Moto America stuff, and yeah, now we're here.
I love it, man. It's everybody's got their own beautiful journey and story into the world of twos, right? I'm a firm believer that motorcycles pick you. You don't pick the bikes, right? It's everybody's journey starts out with that one single bike, so a little single like tree, right? And then it branches
Yeah.
off. There's so many different routes you could take to end up road racing. Dude, ice racing. Never did ice racing before my life. I watched your videos. I got a lot of friends that ice race over there in Minnesota and all that, right? And it amazes me. You put all the spikes in there, and I see you guys. I'm like, dude, it looks like so much fun. Obviously, it's different than flat track, but you still does the front still slide like flat track and dirt bikes?
Yeah, oh for sure. You can still slide the tires around, but the interesting thing with the ice is you can hear it. So you can hear the front, like as you start to push, it'll go and start digging in, and it's an audible noise. It's cool. So if you're on a clean lake by yourself, there's not snow on it. It's amazing grip, and like you can make any course you want, any lake, right? So you get a plow on a truck, you can make pick any MotoGP track or whatever you want to practice. If you want a tight thing, increasing radiuses, whatever, it's all there. You get bored of it, you plow a new track. Bring your buddies out, and yeah. The road race people generally, if they've just done road race, they try and go to that. Not too good. just different body positioning. It's more moto and flat track style, right? So it's kind of that same thing to where flat track guys, motocross guys are more comfortable with the bike sliding, so it's an easier transition to go from dirt to tar, right? And the other way around is definitely more tough. So.
Oh, for sure. I think motocross is one of the most physical, demanding sports anybody can do in a lifetime. Not football, not none of that. It's the motocross.
Yeah,
it's such a unique sport. Motocross is, and it's so awesome. Especially, so I was the wussy. My first proper motor. I was talking trash to my friends. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And I show up and I look at the trip. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I talked a lot of trash, but yeah, I'm definitely not doing that. They're like, oh, you big, wussy, this and that. I said, cool. I will be the wussy. I will go around the outside or stay on the inside, talk all the trash you want. I'm good with me, right? I already know what's gonna happen. I seen it as soon as I seen it. This is an ambulance ride, 100%. Because if I'm gonna hit it, I'm just gonna. It's this wide open. Yep, there you go. That's it, right? And
I got plenty of them. Yeah.
It's like growing up riding dirt bikes. The first proper jump you really hit is just like when you first drag your knee. It's something you'll never forget, and you try to replicate that feeling, that initial hit of adrenaline, like an excitement of, oh shit, I just hit my knee, like, oh, now I gotta do my right, and that's all you think about. You're focused, so hyper focused on my right knee, and once you touch it down, it's the next time you hit your left down, it's just not the same. It feels good and it's cool, but it's not the same excitement,
Yeah, then you start sliding then, right? And then you can't go and do a regular track day unless you're kind of on the limit and like teetering over the limit. That's when it's fun. If you're just out tooling around doing laps, I don't know, at a certain point it gets a little boring. So you have to be either riding something slow, but on a sketchy edge, or on a fast bike and really pushing the limit for it to be exciting. But yeah, like you said, you're just always chasing that little rush of like, ooh, we got away with it.
It's what keeps us on the edge, and the ones that can find that edge and walk it, fine tune it for longer periods of a time. It's just amazing to watch and see. It's that fine little grip. But there is times where I go to the track and with slower friends, and just get behind me, and I'll show you the lines and at least the best that I can, and teach them that way. But when you're doing it, you're 2 laps in, you're like, oh, man, I just want to go, right? I just want to go and like tuck the front here, shoot, and then save it or whatever, feel that little, oh shit, that was awesome. I'm gonna come back through there. I'm gonna do a little smoother, but maybe a little bit harder, maybe not lean over. Man, there's so much to it, Kyle. You already know. So going from motocross to road racing and then finally into Moto America, right? There's a huge jump going from club racing to Moto America. I think a lot of it's got to do. Never raced in Moto America, but I got a lot of friends as you that
Yeah.
do, and everybody that tells me when they first got into it, a lot of it was some of the pressure because now I'm gonna be on TV, right? And I'm actually in the atmosphere with Jake Gagne and Josh Herron and Loris Baz and Demario and all these fast kids are around,
Yeah.
and you're not so sure of yourself, right? Let's just be honest. How did you find the whole transition?
So it's kind of funny you bring that up. We've been doing actual uh, kind of classes at our local club events, just trying to help prep people to that. It's free, telling them like, hey, this is why you need data. This is how you use it. This is what the top teams are doing. This is why. For me personally, when I was going up to it, I mean, this is probably like my first like pro race, right? Was that Azure race at Daytona. First year being expert, I was a novice at the start of the season, but progressed and they bumped me up. Whole thing. And actually on my starting grid was Joe Roberts at the end, Stefano Mesa, I can't remember the other gentleman's name, and then me. And I'm like, damn it. Okay, I mean, I know I can run the pace from qualifying. I had the same times, but like that's Mesa. I've been watching him TV for years, and so it was definitely it was interesting on that one. But I had a really good crew chief and kind of mentor, right? Who told me can't do the word for word, but he basically said it's just a bunch of people out there, just regular people having fun on their motorcycles. Um, Again, different wording on it that he used to me, but it's like, oh, yeah, it's just regular dudes doing what they love. And once I started approaching it like that, and just, I mean, it took a lot of the pressure off. And then what my dad always told me growing up was whoever is winning wanted it most. And when you get to the pro stuff, what bike you have, what equipment you have, that definitely plays a bigger factor into it. But I still think it ultimately goes back to who wants it most, right? They're going to put the extra hours in, the extra work, the trimming that little bit of weight off something, whatever, or that much longer in the gym, and it's going to pay off. Maybe not right away, but they'll get there. So I
Oh,
think that helps coming into the pro community,
yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah, it totally makes sense, and you're right on that. Is I've watched all these people grow up, and I finally get to meet them, like Troy Heffross, right? I was like, dude, Troy, bro, what is up? And then
Yeah.
you sit down. So, Kyle, when I go to the track and I meet somebody for the first time, I'm a huge fan, right? I don't ask them your typical uh hey, can I get a picture and an autograph? It's usually like, what's for dinner tonight, mate? Or
Yeah.
whatever. And they kind of
Let's
look at you
do something
like,
fun.
yeah, like holy shit, like nobody asked me that at the racetrack. It's always, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? It gets old after a while, I'm sure, for them. So
For sure. Yeah. You said the Joe Shimoda thing, whatever he had, like, yes, my hand's broken. Yes, it hurts, whatever. That's how I feel sometimes at the track. It's like, man, ask me something interesting. Like, yeah, they went 180 on the banking. Like, yeah, it's ask me something else, That's where it's fun.
yeah, it is, and I try to. So my approach at it too is if I can, obviously I want to connect too, but if I can take your mind off whatever stress you're going through that weekend or that time of moment, the session wasn't good. I feel like shit the front end, no matter what changes I make, it's just like all the time. And then here comes this guy asking me, hey man, what are you watching on Netflix? And you're like, wait, what? And then you're not thinking about that no more, right? You're like,
Yeah.
you really want to have a conversation with this guy because he just asked you something you don't typically hear on a race weekend. And the next thing you know, you're 10 minutes there and they're like, dude, you got to go. Like, you have got to go. You're like, hey man, you know what, or whatever. And then later on, it might be like, hey man, you don't mind if I get a picture, right? To remember this moment. Yeah, dude, sure. No
Yeah.
problem. Instead of, the mandatory, oh, I got to go up here on hot pit and everybody's pictures and autographs and this and that, and yada, yada.
Yeah.
It's like showing up to the track and they're like, are you guys ready for this broken record? And it just plays the same thing over and over. And you're like,
Exactly. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm here to have fun too, people. Right. I'm not, it surprises me that when you meet, your AKA, let's say heroes, how down to earth they are. And you said it, they're just humans, just like me and you, that just have this natural or this ability to defy physical laws on a motorcycle that makes me go, Did you just see? Did you just see that, right? And get all excited and like a 3-year-old would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're right, 110%. So, you know, and then obviously, dude, I got to talk about the baggers, bro. I think it's an absolutely, listen, I love it, dude. At first, when they first announced it, I'm not gonna lie, and I tell everybody this, I wasn't against it, but I had a lot of questions. I was like, because you know, we're
Oh
old
man.
school, right? Old school sports bikes are crotch rockets, they're the race bikes,
Yeah.
right? Not the
Performance stuff. Yeah.
Right, not the
Yeah.
baggers with the, but then once I started watching it and seeing it, I was like, you know what? This is so good for our sport because it's going to bring outside sponsorships in, newer sponsorships that otherwise wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Plus, Kyle, you know, of course, your dad too. Growing up, you had the crotch rockets, and then you had the cruisers, and then the Harleys. Right, the Harleys didn't like the crotch rocket guys. The crotch rocket guys like, all Harleys are for old fat, slow, bearded guys with beer guts. I don't. Yeah, I mean seriously, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah,
you go
for
to
sure.
Daytona 200, and you can walk down the street and be like, hey, you know, Moto America or AMA's racing super bikes down there. They didn't give a shit.
I didn't even
Introduced
know.
the
Yeah.
baggers. Now it's done flipped at 180. Now they're friends. They're friends with people in the paddock. They like sports bikes now, right? They're into it. They're bringing their guys at cigar smokers, old proper old school. They're like, I'm not going to that shit. There's no way,
Yeah.
right? And but once they get there, it's like, holy shit, this is absolutely amazing, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good. But knowing somebody that actually races the baggers, bro, I gotta know, man, what's it like?
So, so I mean, so I don't know if you know this or not, but I was the so R&D engineer at Polaris and Indian Motorcycles for 8 years. So I was their top test rider. So I mean, before they were even had that concept of racing baggers, I was already out doing track days on the things, sliding them around, doing all the traction control testing. I mean, there's some proper riders at Indian that I mean, we basically have track days and get paid to do it. So when they told me. Hey, we're thinking about racing these things. What do you think? And I was just like, I couldn't tell them no fast enough. Like it's the dumbest idea you could ever think of, you know. And then went down to S&S and they sat me on the first Indian Challenger that they ended up trying to get an idea of. Sat me on a bike and I said, okay, well the rear sets have to be here, but the passenger pegs, the seat height has to go way up. You know, we're looking at different chassis numbers, and it's like this is just this is not going to work basically. But I mean, the rear sets are still in the passenger peg position where kind of where when I was sitting on it, you know, we figured out works out. And then I think it was a couple weeks later, I was at a test. The first time we ever did it, it was me and Tyler both riding that day at you know, just some smaller track here in Minnesota. So S&S was there, some factory Indian engineers. That was good fun. Super sketchy though. I mean, I looked at him and was like, dude, I'm glad I'm not racing. This thing is just dangerous. You know, we both were like, what are we doing here? You know, being sport bike racers. And then so that was pretty cool to be a part of now looking back and seeing how far they've come. I mean, basically how I compare it, it's like taking a 1970s super bike and then applying today's pace riders and technology. I mean, obviously there's amazing riders back then, but just the level of analysis and everything is so different now. So understanding like what's supposed to flex and what's not supposed to flex, uh, everyone kind of got a refresher course, I would say, and things that we probably would have never seen or even thought to then go apply back to sport bikes. So some of the stuff I ride now, it's like, oh man, like I learned this in the bagger. Like this bike is actually struggling with this. You know, this you think it'd be suspension or whatever, and it's like, no, it's actually a swing arm flex or the rim is flexing or goofy stuff like that. That a lot of us learn the feel of just because it was so far out of the window to try and get it back to being a faster bike. And every year we go into it just thinking like, man, there's no way we're going to go faster than last year. And every year it's about a second or two that, you know, both Harley and Indian gain. So it's just a spite, but everything's kind of growing at once. And it's definitely cool to be a part of. But like I said, when it started, I was not for it. I almost crashed the stock one so many times, man, just dragging stuff on the ground. And yeah.
Love it. So What's in the bags? You guys carry anything like a 6-pack? Dude, I so bad want to
Oh
see you
man.
win, bro, and pull up to the podium and just crack open the bag and open up the beers and just start, here you go,
We
right?
Yeah, we've talked about that so many times, or just doing like some type of like Ricky Bobby thing during the interview, just like, lady asks you, not sure what to do with my hands, right? And, so no, we're having fun with it. And like honestly, the whole group, the riders in that class, they'll get along pretty well for the most part. I don't know how it looks from the outside, but inside it's pretty good. Like we'll be on the grid, for example, like New Jersey last year. Everyone's hanging out and like high pressure championship weekend, and then you got Corey West in the just a row right behind me saying over to his teammate like, "Hey buddy, I'll race you for a beer." Like everyone's laughing in the kind of mid to back region there. We're having fun with it. So and really it's just an opportunity that a lot of us guys maybe wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for racing baggers and the new sponsors and people being able to come in. So I mean, we got my new team this year, Tad Performance. We can talk about that maybe a little bit more in depth, but I mean that's a brand new team effectively coming in, and they basically took the bike from last year and my team and said, hey, we want to go bagger racing. We trust you guys. We trust what you've done on basically little to no budget, and they're really putting together a solid program for us. So that'll be a first for us, really. I mean, how it started was I was doing the suspension chassis tuning for Tyler, Jeremy McWilliams, and Bobby Fong. So I was in the background, looking at the data, looking at the motospec stuff, and then helping get the 3 championships between the hooligan and bagger stuff. So that was good. And then during the testing, so I was their rider if they couldn't fly him in, and my times during the test with the riders, Tyler, Jeremy, it was the same or better if I found a new piece that worked, and then I'd go back, reval the shop, hey guys, you got to try this, and go out and run with them, and they eventually got to thinking like, okay, like it's one of our engineers, let's get him some budget, it's not much, and see what he does, and we ended up doing pretty good. We got a podium that year with, I mean, our budget was laughable in comparison, but we had the right people and had a lot of fun. So
Listen, you're right. So 2 questions. First is Jeremy McWilliams. That's all I gotta say. An absolute legend of the sport, dude. It's
I
like, bro,
know.
Kyle, like, dude, I grew up watching Jeremy McWilliams, from
Hmm.
GP to bro. I couldn't imagine. And I'm sure he's just as cool, right? Just laid back guy.
Awesome dude. Every time I talk to him, just so grateful, so happy, and just brutally fast. Racing against him, just and the level of knowledge too that he was able to bring to the team and help us develop those bikes. Just that was cool. We learned a lot.
Absolutely. And the second part of that is, and I tell everybody this, how important it is to have a team that truly believes in you, that's surrounding you at all times. Man, it's so
Yep.
important for a rider like Kyle to just free his mind to focus on what he needs to do to go fast, instead of one person, one bad apple. That's all it takes to be like, dude, I don't think he knows what he's doing. Dude, you shouldn't do this. Is what you should do. And once you
Yep.
start losing that belief, man, it goes downhill like this. And then the performance you struggle so bad mentally on trying to bridge that gap mentally to keep on that front. And it's not a front, but that positive energy and the smile and having fun, right? um
Yeah. Yep.
so yeah.
Yeah, we had that. I mean, I've seen teams do well with the biggest budgets and then also struggle with the biggest budgets. So and that's and it's it's all kind of what you make of it. But really, if you're having fun and you're learning every time you're out on track and you're improving, I mean, in my opinion, what I always tell people, you're spending too much money, too much of your time away from family, whatever. If you're not having a good time doing it, what are we doing? So even if you had a bad session or something didn't go quite right, there's always a positive you can pull out of it, and you can learn from it. It's a data point. Just because you maybe didn't hit it right on what you wanted, at least now you know to go the other direction. So that's why we try and take it with our team, and have been doing well with it. So and I think we're having the most fun out there, but I don't know. It's like I said, Corey West and Jake Lewis and those guys, and even like Rocco and Hayden, just some of the joking around that goes on behind the scenes. It's a good time.
Absolutely. I always call it our beautiful circus, and within that, you always
Mm,
have clowns, and we love the clowns of the circus, right?
yeah,
It makes us laugh and it keeps us on our toes, and iron sharpens iron, right? So it's we're all there to have fun. We're all one family underneath that beautiful tent, and we all want to see each other succeed. To well, most of us to a certain point until you're head to head in a championship. But after it's all said and
yeah,
done, it's beers and grills and laughs, right? So
yeah.
yeah, man, absolutely. Listen, dude, congratulations on your first kid. You're going to be a dad this year.
Yeah, no, that'll be the first one for sure. We planned it. So in all honesty, we planned it or tried to plan it. You can't really plan that stuff in life. For the end of the season, right? Just to kind of give ourselves winter and whatever. No, it is April 13th. So I mean, we got Daytona. My wife can't make it to that one, and like I said, she's my dad engineer on my team. So usually, what happens? It's weird dynamic. She loves motorcycles. Very good at the analysis side of it. So I'll get off the bike, and most wives or girlfriends, they'll give them a hug. Oh, good job, honey. I'll get off, and she'll pull up the data and say like, okay, you coasted, cumulative like 1 second in throughout the lap. Like you need to be 100 feet farther on the throttle here, earlier on the brakes here. What are you doing in this line here? And just piecing together every aspect of it as I'm out there. So that's fun. But to not she'll be doing it remote the first 2 rounds, which is going to be tough. So I'll get off the bike, send her the data or my crew chief, and she'll yell at me, tell me I'm slow, and we'll find some pace out there like we always do. And but yeah, no, it'll be a change for sure. So
It will.
it's a little man, and my my dad, you could say, is a little bit excited. He already bought a PW 50 for him. He's already got number 78 on it, I guess, and it's cool. So we got a happy future grandpa here, and um, yeah, me and the wife are excited.
And
Uh,
a super excited dad, right? That wants to
oh,
pass
very.
down the love and generation of motorcycles, and that's what I love about our sport. That's where it starts. Is
Hmm.
you and your newborn, right? Even if it was a girl, whatever. It's I love them
Yeah,
the same, right?
yeah,
It's that's where it starts. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, man, congratulations. I'm happy and it's super excited for you guys. And this is my only advice because I'm sure everybody's going to give you a shit ton of advice, right? This is the only thing I give to my friends and new dads. Listen, uh, get as much sleep as you can right now. Okay, that's number
I'm
one.
trying, but
Bro, I'm
yeah.
telling you, just wait till they get here. Right. So me and my wife, we alternate every 2 hours. He got up. So she gets up first 2 hours and I get up the next 2 hours, and then you still gotta go to work and dishes and clean.
Hmm.
Listen, it's a beautiful struggle in life, okay?
Yep.
Um, and like I told my son, you wasn't born with instructions, bro. Everything else you're gonna buy in life, a TV, your dirt bike, or whatever it is, it's gonna come with this manual with instructions, a watch, whatever it is, right? You didn't come here, so we grow together and we learn together, right? And
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
beautiful journey, man. You're gonna have so much fun. I'm telling you right now, it's
Yeah.
you just
The
wait.
The traveling is going to be that's the interesting one. So me and my wife we have some plans with that, and I have a supportive family that they love coming to the races anyways. So we'll we'll figure it out. But basically, as soon as we found out, I mean, I've been training just like crazy in general, but it really ramped it up after that, just to make sure that I'm ready to go. That I'm not at the point that I mean the team's working hard behind rebuilding the entire bike, different swing arm, better motor. I mean, you name it, basically entirely new bike, and they're putting a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that I'm not going to be a weak link for the team. So I've been working with a personal trainer, riding as much as I possibly can, with the ice riding. So I mean, you can do as much riding as you want with that, um, and just making sure my fitness is there, right? Because as soon as little man comes, like I'm sure it's going to impact me in sleep in some way. But my wife's she's already making plans of like, okay, on race weekends, these days I'll take over, whatever, and we'll make sure you're rested, good to go. So we have some plans, but really I'm excited for when like my brother, he has a 3-year-old. He takes me on 4-wheeler rides, and he's just about to the point that he's riding. Uh, he's got a Stasic thing he runs around on. So um, but yeah, I'm just excited for that whole thing, and just kind of watching him grow up, and maybe he won't like motorcycles. I don't know.
Maybe, right?
We'll see, but yeah, it'll be fun.
Listen, call our buddy Corey West up. Him and Patricia just had a kid. He's going through it right now. He'll tell you all about it. Right? It's
Yeah, I'm planning on reaching out to him and just saying, hey man, like how'd you juggle this? you know. So
you
we get
figure it
along
out.
pretty
That's
well.
what you
So
do. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah, I mean,
you
between our business stuff, we got a pretty good plan with that. Coming out with a bunch of different products, so we're trying to get everything figured out best we can before stuff hits the fan, right? But yeah,
he'll be here before you know it, bro. Straight up. You're gonna blink your eye. Real quick, funny story, and we'll get right back in it. So this is how it went for me. My wife got up. It was early in the morning, and I worked late, right? So I got home. I've only probably been asleep for 3 hours. I just remember her out like my first time dragging a knee, bro. Right? You'll never forget it. She's like, dude, is nonchalant. Like I thought she was bullshitting me, dude. She wakes me up. She's like, hey, I've been up for a couple hours. I just got out the shower and I think my water broke. I think we're having a
oh
baby
man,
today. God, I looked at her. I said, we ain't having no baby today. What are you talking about? Just because they're toning her energy. I rolled back over and went to
yeah.
sleep. Dude, fast forward. My phone keeps ringing. I'm like, man, keeps calling me, right? Nikki. She's not there. I answer the phone. It's my wife. She's like, where are you at? I'm like, at home in the bed. Where are you at? She's like, well, I'm at the hospital. Do you ready to induce me here in about 30 minutes? So I suggest you get your ass here. You'll see your son get
Oh
bored.
man,
Bro, and I sat straight up off the
yeah.
bed. I was like, shit got real quick, right? I was like,
Oh yeah,
uh-oh. So
yep.
yeah, man. I'm excited for you, bro. I'm telling you, it's yeah. It's one of the listen, this is what it's all about in life. For real. So I
Yep.
cried like a baby. I ain't gonna lie. I'll admit it. I was in there bawling like it's like I ain't gonna cry. You friends, you're gonna cry up in there like a little bitch in this. I'm not gonna cry. I'm a man. I'm a Spartan, but I'm in there,
Yeah.
all snug. Can I get it back, please? Yeah, dude. It's bro. It's the best feeling ever, man. It really is. So fast forward. We'll get back on track. I just want to say
Yeah. No, you're good.
congratulations,
Yeah. Thank you.
bro. No more Junior Cup. Hence, fast forward, we are now in the world of the Talent Cup, right? I know you've been doing a lot of testing on the Kramer. The first time I seen it was at Jersey. It's a beautiful bike, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Walked
Yep.
up to it and was like, man, this thing it's a weapon. You could tell it's well built. It's got proper brakes, suspension,
Mhm.
the whole nine. It's not a 400, right? It is a 350, but it's a proper race bike. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so dude, I gotta know your thoughts and opinions on the Kramer. I know it's fast because that's what I hear from everybody.
Yeah. So we did the two write ups, some stuff with Moto America. That all done pretty good. They're fun to work with for that. But the Kramer guy's been working with for probably close to 10 years. So really good friends with Joe Carbonin. So he's the um, Kramer USA basically. So kind of did some stuff with them with the 690. I was the first person in the U.S. to race the 890 when they came over here. Just kind of helped them with some R&D parts here and there, and raced them a ton. So fabulous bikes just in general. Um, but the one gripe I always have is that our prestigious tracks here in the U.S. Are not always quite as glass smooth as the ones overseas. So depending on what track you're at or what you're running, especially some of the stuff down in Texas that gets quite bumpy, um, they don't always behave the best, right? So you can get some chatter on the edge of the tire, and they've made some big improvements as far as chassis flex goes. That like right away when they said, "Hey, we want you to run this thing. You have some experience testing with us." Then obviously the whole engineering background, blah blah, and then testing with M4 and helping them out last year to get 2 podiums, whatnot. So they had a good resume going into it. And they're like, "You're the guy. You can run a good pace, and you're 156 pounds, so decent representative for what the class might be, um, rider wise." But yeah, no. So they I was worried about chatter big time on the edge of the tire. So straight up and down, right? Your suspension's working on this axis. Any bump you hit is your suspension and your valving. When you're on the side of the tire, right? So your bumps are still coming vertically, so your chassis has to flex and move around. So we tested different triple trees, different swing arm, um, all kinds of different stuff to really find what's going to work for your club level tracks, but also work well at Moto America tracks. So with a stiff chassis, you get a lot of feel as a rider, and you know exactly where the tires are at. But if you get to a track that's bumpy, it's just going to skip out, you know, and you can't push because you don't have the grip. It just overseeds that traction force, and you'll crash. But so I feel like we found a pretty good balance with it. Um, work with Dunlop, kind of tuning in the tires a bit and figuring out what compounds are going to work, what profiles are going to work. So that was good fun. Did a week-long test at blanking on the track. Anyways, but we went to Coda, like its first real go at it. The other one was kind of a more of a go-kart track in comparison, but it's bumpy. So it's good to figure out the chassis stuff. Went to Coda, and I mean, the thing rips. They stuck me out in advanced practice, and we put a hurting on the thousands there, even at Coda. It got so bad to the point to where it was just like a slinky down the straightaways. They pull, and I get all back on the brakes and corner speed, and they started just letting me go 15, 20 seconds earlier than the entire group, and maybe two dudes would pass me throughout the entire session. So I mean, it'll do a pretty good pace, and when the kids get on it and they get to racing and drafting there, I'm excited to see the times. But they're fun bikes to race on, very very raceable at this point. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. I can't wait to see them in action. You know, it's absolutely going to be, it's definitely going to be different. You know, like you said, that the smoothest of the track, we don't have, you know, European tracks. Closest one we have would be Coda, to be honest with you, that I know
yeah,
of. And you do get a lot more feel off a stiffer chassis, you know, but
mm-hmm.
when things don't go great, they don't go great, right? It's not like a softer chassis that's just got all this flex in it. And you're right, when you're bent over, right, the bumps are coming like this, but the
Yeah,
front forks also got a flex, and it's yeah,
yeah.
it's
But like with the Ninja 400, like you mentioned though, like you don't have feel, like you just crash.
yeah.
You know, you don't see it coming at all on the Kramer. I mean, I was able to go out there, push the front, basically have it folded, kind of laugh about it. It's so consistent. I knew exactly what was going on, and then same with the rear. That I could push harder and trust it more. I think to the riders though, it's going to be coming from a Ninja 400, you know, going to that class. It's going to be a pretty big step as far as like going from not feeling anything to feeling everything. And that feeling, I think people are gonna be like, oh, it's too stiff, but that it's not a bad thing. You know, it's not so much that the bike is going to start skipping and chattering. It just they're going to be so used to not feeling anything that it might be a little bit much, and they're going to have to get used to that feeling. And you know, if they go to say like a Moto 2 bike or proper Moto 3 bike, it's going to be the same type of feeling, you know, but it gives you the confidence to know exactly what's going on. And if you make a change, like you make an offset change or ride height or the pivot, whatever, you know exactly what was improved or what was, you know, hurt during that time. So that's probably the coolest thing I think on those bikes, is the sensitivity to adjustment. So the riders are going to learn a lot, and I think that was kind of a big goal with giving them that ability. So I mean, like yes, riders could go down a rabbit hole trying to chase something, but I think from a rider standpoint, it's not like, oh, maybe that was better, maybe it was worse. You will know right away, like lap one, if that change was the right way, and then from there they can kind of figure out what window they like to be in as a rider, because you know, it's not a one size fits all. So that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, it never is in motorcycles. It's never a perfect setup. There's never a one size fit all. It's
Mm-hmm.
always a compromise, right? And yeah, I think that once they get the biggest is the whole mental side of wrapping their head around the feel. They're like, holy shit, I'm feeling this. Like I ain't never had this feeling before, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And learning to translate that into a proper way that they understand without you be like, I really don't know. It's hard to tell what it's actually doing, you know. It's that, but they'll figure it out. I think the what do you think about the lap times? You think they're going to go faster this year in 2025 than the 400s did last year?
So I don't think I don't know that they didn't race at Coda, at least for
Yeah.
the first round, but the times that we had heard people were doing there, like faster guys on 400s, we were ahead of it. I can't remember honestly how much further, but performance-wise, the bikes are quite a ways up over the 400s. And like I said, it's going to take a little bit for the riders to get used to it in general, but I think they're going to learn to grow and learn to love it. I mean, and it's not one of those things like, oh, we're stuck running this. You know, this is the bike we have to run. Like, I genuinely think they're going to love the bike. It's just going to take them a little bit to get that feel. And then 100%. Once they go to, you know, the next, you know, Super Sport or Twins Cup, whatever, the bikes are probably going to be, depending on what they go with, right, a little bit softer again, and they're going to be looking for that same feel, you know. And then it's like, oh man, like the offset, you know, the bike isn't quite turning how I want it to. They're going to know what to do. So at least that's the goal, anyways.
I love it, man. Yeah, I think it's a great thing. You know, plus it's a single cylinder.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's not a parallel twin; it's a single cylinder, right? Which so naturally a big single cylinder, a 350, man. As soon as you drop the throttle,
it's not.
No.
I mean, it's so the way that it's a electronic throttle body on that thing, so it's got clutchless up and down shifting, so you can completely tailor your mapping to be anything you want. You make it freewheel like a 2-stroke if you want. So that was fun, being able just to toggle back and forth and try different maps, different settings, and really kind of tune it into what you wanted. So you can have it ramp down more engine braking as you get closer to apex, depending on the track and per gear. It's fun. But no, but I know what you're talking about though. Like this single is more the slipper clutch, and it was not that at all. So it's be cool. So we're helping out Kramer, and then I think we're helping out a couple teams specifically, doing data and chassis and some suspension stuff. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited for the series.
You did that also with M4, didn't you?
Yeah, that's so we did that with got a call from John Ulrich, just kind of asking for a different perspective, right? So he knew that I'd done some stuff with Indian, kind of hopped around some other teams. We had 3 championships in Moto America with Indian, so between the 2 and Hooligan and then one of the baggers. And it taught us a lot of different stuff that, like I said, it's just outside the box thinking, trying to get those goofy bikes to work. So definitely some unique insight, and like John kind of put the piece together on that one, said, hey, we'd like you to come in for a round and just kind of see, you know, we're struggling, see if we can find anything, right? So came in, helped out with data, talking with the riders, doing some moto spec stuff, doing some suspension stuff, working with Barry at Ohlins, just people mostly that I already knew in general, and just kind of it was a fun opportunity. So we came in the last 3 rounds, found some stuff with the bike that Ty Scott really enjoyed. Ended up getting 2 podiums with that, just about 1 at Coda. So the team was extremely happy and excited about the direction we were going, the learnings and findings. So they brought me down to Barber, stuck me on a bike to ride with Ty, and unfortunately it was like 3 days before heading down there. I was training, doing some woods riding on my 450, and hit a rock underneath some leaves, separated my shoulder pretty good, heading into that one, but ended up doing all besides out of Charlotte Webb. The times were dead on to what Ty Scott was doing. So I was felt good on that one. Obviously some not too used to that bike. We found some stuff that we ended up transferring over to his bike, and he ended up doing a really incredible time there. So I think just again, different stuff, different perspective going in, you know, hey, these different triple trees, maybe try this linkage setup with this valving, whatever, and just kind of going through stuff with Chris Ulrich, and they just had such an open mind to try different stuff, and we found some cool things. So I'm kind of helping them out as needed throughout the season this year. Since I'll be racing, I couldn't do like a full crew chief thing with Ty Scott, but they got Shiloh, and she is incredible. She is a wizard with that stuff. So I'm really excited to see how that team progresses on that one.
Yeah, I had to ask you, man, because I'm good friends with obviously my boy Ty Scott, Brandon Posh, Chris Ulrich, my buddy Dustin, right? So
Yeah,
I got
Dustin's
there.
awesome. The bow
Look,
tie, I love it.
dude, I freaking love it, right? He's such a dude. I love that guy. He actually, dude, look, I got my nickname on their
There
official
you
team
go.
hat, man. Yeah, so
Yep.
yeah, man, absolutely proper mega team they are. I think it's great that that's how you progress, man, and you learn. You're like, look, we kind of hit a wall, man. We need an outside perspective to come in and throw some salt in the spaghetti sauce to make it taste good again. You know what I'm saying? Where people are having
Yeah, no,
fun. So
they have some incredible people over there. So it was more just kind of just being able to, I think, just having somebody kind of step back and just kind of see how everything was working, and then just kind of suggest some different ideas, and it really worked out. And then Chris was, and he's awesome as a team manager, whatever you want to call him, in incorporating changes right away, and they're starting to see some good success. I mean, like I said, it was they went from struggling to the last 3 rounds to battling for wins. So Ty
it's
Scott's happy
amazing.
with the bike and happy rider, happy team.
At the very beginning of this podcast, I said you was a legend, bro. This whole journey you just said, dude, just solidifies that 10,000 times, bro. You kidding me right now? All the listen to me, Kyle. It's not just how fast you're on the bike. It's the knowledge you have, the energy you put out, the love for the sport you have, the willingness to jump in and help everybody else, dude. That is a true legend and a true championship, my friend. 100%, and that is you. 100. You,
Yeah,
Kyle.
it's it's kind of my like niche thing that I've been having fun with. So I like the engineering side, like figuring out why things work the way they do. But I was a racer first, right? So growing up my whole life, not having that background, always having to run stock suspension the motocross bikes, we couldn't afford to do anything else. So I just learned how to ride around all these problems. So when I went to engineering school and kind of had access to these teams that were allowing me to test and try anything and everything, I was able to just spend a bunch of time on a dyno that shock dyno that costs more in the house, right? And really like put like okay, this is the theory. Does this actually work? And then translate it to the track and testing different stiffness parts, whatever on the motorcycle. Indian was incredible to work for. So it was such a cool opportunity for me. But but yeah, no. So that's again kind of a niche thing of being able to tie together the data stuff and the engineering know-how into what the rider's physically feeling. So a rider can come off and say, "Oh, it's doing this, or whatever," and I know exactly what to change to get them to feel that. Right, having that, being able to ride at that level that they are, I know what they're looking for. Then I can go to the data after we make the changes at the wall, and say, "Yep, that's exactly what we're thinking. This is why," and I can explain to the rider, explain to the team, this is what we're seeing. This is why we went this direction. This is why it worked, or this is why we have to go this other way now. So that's been fun. So that's where um, Kramer brought me in. M Ford brought me in. Carnes is bringing me in for this season. So I was riding with Levy, Isaac, Elisa. So amazing riders. It was fun. Jason actually stuck me on a bike the 2 days. So flew me down there, was doing the data, helped him get everything set up, designed a link for him. So did the whole analysis on the bike, got a chassis set up for him. But yeah, designed a link from scratch. Worked amazing in the bike. So that was pretty cool. So that's through our company, right? And then me, Isaac ended up getting sick, unfortunately, when we were there. But me and Levy were going back and forth for times in the track, just for fun, Like he knew I was just there for that weekend, and then after that I was going to be doing their data and suspension. But it was fun to be able to go out and see his riding style and be able to push the pace and have him look and be like, who is this guy? Like I thought he was just the engineer, data nerd, So able to go and do that was pretty cool. And then just feel exactly what they're feeling, and just say, okay, we need more engine braking or the bike to handle a little bit different here. And then from that test, we have some different parts that we're working on before Daytona. So again, kind of a unique skill set to be able to go in and do that. And that's what I love doing. You take a bike that isn't handling well, or it's not supposed to do this, and I get to stick me on it, get data, go ride it, and then just figure out how to make it go fast. That was my favorite thing to do. So
I love it, man. And there's some of my favorite people. Dude, big shout out to Carn. I drove to Pennsylvania by my son a dirt bike from Jason, 5-hour drive. because dude, he's a friend of mine first and foremost, and I want to support everybody in the business, all my friends, right? I could have bought the same bike 20 minutes down the street from a local
Yeah.
dealership that I don't know nobody there, right? And
Yeah, that,
of
that
course,
dude works so hard. He's
dude,
one of
he
the
does.
hardest working people I've seen on a team. It is his knowledge isn't it's incredible.
It
So
is.
I'm excited to work with those dudes, and I see a pretty bright future with Jason and his riders. So we'll see. Bike worked real well.
I
So
love
let's
it, dude.
yeah, I'll
I'm
say that.
excited, dude. I'm excited for my boy Levy. I'm excited for my boy
Yeah.
Isaac and Elisa.
Yep.
Dude, I know them. I've had them all on my podcast. They are absolutely amazing young adults and have the brightest futures ahead of them. And to have somebody like Jason behind them with that wealth and knowledge, and you, it's just, bro, that it's going to be. I've said it before. The best Twins Cup team, one of them in the paddock, hands down,
They'll
100%.
they'll they'll have a good go at it. I
Yes,
feel good about it.
yeah, I do
So
too. Because I know them personally, so I know how to. Yeah, dude, absolutely they will. Well, listen, dude, it's been a lot of fun. We're 50 minutes into this. I'm not going to get to all my personal questions. I'm going to save some of these for our part two. But I do want to start with is what's for dinner tonight, bro?
what's for dinner? Man, that's a good question. So we're going ice ride tomorrow. So I got a good probably 2 hour stint I'm gonna go do on the ice. Like the tank will do an hour 10, fill up, do another one. Gotta get the cardio in, you know. um, but no, I don't know, man. We'll find some pasta or something somewhere. You know Hank Vosberg at all?
Who?
Hank Vosberg. He ran with Robum for the N2 Endurance Series. I think they won it on the 660.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, he won I think the Supermoto Pro Class, Road America, whole thing. Anyways, he's insanely fast. Been helping that kid out since he's probably about 8 years old. But he'll be doing the Talent Cup this year, and then when he turns 15, he's going to ride for, I believe, Robum at the Ridge will be his first kind of debut round. But I mean, we did he'll be here ice ride tomorrow. We did an endurance race last weekend, and his times matched mine. And I've been doing ice ride my entire life. He's 14 and he is fast. So we're helping him out in the Talent Cup this year, and we'll see how he does. But now I gotta try and find some fuel or some type of food, something I can stuff in me to try and chase down a 14-year-old tomorrow. So
That's awesome. I love it.
that's my plan.
Man, we should get him on the podcast, bro.
He'd be a good one. So
Yeah.
he's like I said, I think he'll be a front runner in the Talent Cup stuff. He is blisteringly fast. So
Good. Good. I
yeah,
love because that's the features of our sport coming through, right? And that's very important for us to grow as our beautiful circus. So
for
love to
sure.
hear it, man. I love to hear it. Are you a pet person? Do you have any pets?
Um, so we have got 3 barn cats that kind of run around outside, and then my wife is slowly turning our property into a funny farm. So she's got chickens that free range. I think we're getting a goose. She's got goats she wants. So we got our closest neighbor is about a half mile away. So we got live about 50 minutes south of the cities here in Minnesota. But I mean, we are in proper middle of nowhere. So I mean, we can we hear uh, you know gunshots basically every day. I don't know if people are shooting clays or whatever, but kids doing wheelies down the gravel roads and stuff on their dirt bikes, 4 wheelers. It's good fun. But yeah, no, so yeah, just very slowly getting all the animals. So that's her goal. So I'll have a kid run around too, and it's fun.
It'll be a proper farm, man. My wife's trying to do the same thing.
Yeah,
I said, I'm an animal lover. I was like, look, just one cat, right? One cat, 2 dogs. The next thing I know, she comes home with another cat. Of course, I'm not going to say no, right?
yeah.
And then, yeah, so it keeps going on from there. So, dude, I feel your pain, brother, man. I feel your pain. It's a beautiful life. I wouldn't give
Oh,
it up for anything. So,
oh yeah, no, I love it. So and she's so supportive of all the racing stuff. I mean, I had a stable engineering job, whatnot. I left last spring after being there for 8 years as an R&D engineer. That's what I went to school for. This computer and electrical engineering. Because I hated I didn't know it was in the black box, so like ECUs. I knew how to rebuild motors and chassis stuff, but I didn't know that. My dad didn't know it, so we never did anything with it. So it's like, damn, I want to figure this out. Um, but anyways, yeah. So she's, my wife's been supportive of me running our business and growing that. So we started it probably about 8 years ago, but officially the LLC in 2020 for Adrenaline Engineering. And from there, just been doing chassis and suspension stuff and designing new parts, working with teams. And I mean, how it all started really was I would go to the local races and win them, or had won the number one plate a couple of years in a row, and then I started helping people out. They're like, oh, like my bike's doing this. What should I do? And I started helping people, and more people started coming to me. And I wasn't charging. I was in high school, and I go to Friday practice or whatever, or track day, and I never had my own bike. I would go from bike to bike to bike, helping people out because, one, I got to ride some stuff. Two, I didn't have to spend any money. And then three, there's a lot of experience, a lot of weird or sometimes really expensive bikes. And I would tell the people, like, I'm gonna go push on it. I have to figure out what to do. And I told him if it comes back in a ball, I'm gonna go like this because I'm, 16 and yeah,
I don't have no money. So,
yeah. But no, it was cool. So that's kind of how I learned a lot of the suspension stuff. And then it's like, okay, like I should really start charging for this, and just to make it so I could ride my own bikes again. And then Indian was amazing. They sent me to work on the Olin's race trailer during the Moto America weekends, because they kind of figured they were going to go racing at some point, and they knew that I was good at riding and already knew a good bit of suspension chassis stuff. So they had me do like an Olin's race training is what they called it. It's not like an official thing that they do, but I was going around to Moto America teams, working with Scotty, Ryan, who's the longtime friend. They ran TSC up by us for a long time, but just had some really cool people in the industry take me under their wing. And just show me like, hey, you run this valve, this one like this is how it feels to the rider, this is what it does. And that, again, just kind of helped me with the niche thing that I got. So knowing the suspension side, electronics, and, chassis, what does what, and being able to sometimes go fairly quick on a bike. So yeah, again, yeah, supportive wife, a lot of people have helped me get here. So just a quick thanks to the sponsors. From my side, Tab Performance, they're stepping up huge, basically brand new race team for Moto America, King of the Baggers. So Indian Motorcycles stepped up really big this year, along with SNS, to support us. Dunlop, so our company is actually a Dunlop vendor this year, so we do some tests with them. What do we got? Arise helping us out, and then again, my wife and the company, and people that help us out. Oh, Bison, heard of them, right? So they're working on my new suit. Looks awesome so far. So I know the fit will be perfect, and yeah, we'll see how it goes at Daytona. We'll have some fun.
I love it, man. I can't wait to meet you at Daytona, my friend. It's gonna be awesome. There's my Bison suit. I went with the so when we changed the logo on the podcast, I was like, dude, I want the 90s, the 90 Kawasaki's, the pink, the purples, the blues, right? I want it to pop.
You seen Super Carl's by chance?
Yeah, dude. That's my homeboy right there. Actually, dude, I was supposed to have Super Carl on, but he got he had that incident, right? So
he's mangled. He's one of my buddies. I grew up racing him since, again, like I was 16 years old in the Midwest. So we race each other almost every weekend. So
I love it.
Good buddies.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he hit me up. He's like, dude, I'm not going to be able to do the podcast. I was like, what happened? You okay? He's like, yeah, this and this and this. I was like, oh shit, dude. He's like, yeah, but I'm good. Maybe in 2 weeks when I feel better. I said, Carl, heal up, right?
Yeah.
I will see you in Daytona. If we don't get to do it before then, we'll set it up, right? So
he's trying to run it.
I know he is.
We'll see. Yeah, that dude's a warrior. So
he's a Spartan.
Yeah.
There's a difference between warriors and Spartans, and he, my friend, is an absolute Spartan. But again, that shows, dude, the true love of two wheels and everything you put into it, and the love and the energy and the sport. There's nothing like it. Well, listen, Kyle, this has been an absolutely proper mega wheelie good time. I appreciate it. It's such an honor to be able to sit down this hour and have you on. I'm gonna let you give all your shout outs, tell everybody where they can find you at Adrenaline Engineering. If they need anything done, of course, the teams at Moto America and how they can find you and all that good stuff. But before I let you do that, I just got to give a quick shout out to all my friends too. So big shout out to, of course, bisontrack.com. People, what are you waiting on? Love yourself, treat yourself, get that full custom suit. Next Level Financial, Chef Eats, my man, the fastest chef around, right? Proper mega food. TST Industries, my man Bart, the Clothing Kings.co.uk. You guys can go there and get all your Pendergast merch. Superbike Supply, my man Eric, SFL Mini GP, Michael Carrera, Julia Carrera. Man, there's so many future legends of our sport that's been coming out of there, not just in South Florida, but Jersey too. I mean, Gus Rodeo, Mazziato, Posh, Yandel Mendia. Listen, the list goes on and on. To me, it's one of the best programs, the best program we have in America, hands down, as far as our future talent. Big shout out to my man RD Racing out there in BSB and my man Jake Marsh that races. Vet2 Track, Flying Eyes Optics, 64-degree races for the undersuit. Because Kyle, you know just as well as I do. Listen, people, listen what I'm really getting ready to say. Besides the custom suit, do not go to your track day with one undersuit. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Trust me. Don't. If you bring more than anything, bring more undersuits than you do socks, underwear, all that. Trust me. So big shout out to my man Tate. He sent me a custom 2-piece undersuit, and I absolutely freaking love it. Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work. Chris Parrish, everybody knows he is. He's an absolute legend, and so is his body work. Carnes Performance. Big shout out to Carnes Performance. Best dealership in Pennsylvania. Anybody that lives in Pennsylvania wants a bike, a dirt bike, race work, whatever you need done, look no further than Carnes Performance. KYT Helmets America, K-Tech Suspension, my man Birch, Kendall, and Dakari, some of the best people you're going to meet in the paddock. And they're
nice dude. Yeah.
Man, they're helping people go proper mega fast too, right? I know there's a lot of suspension out there in the game, but they're my friends, so it's K-Tech, baby, all the way, right? RTR Racing in North Carolina, my man Ryan Snooks, ready to race. Coleman Power Sports here in Virginia. Mick Leo Escapes Track and Tour. If you ever wanted to ride a MotoGP track, look no further than that. Not only do you get to ride the track, you can take a week-long trip around the countryside, ride the public roads, eat the real authentic food. What more could you ask for? Road Racing World. I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com, go to the fund, and please donate to the air fence. It's imperative that we have it. If we don't have the air fences, my man Kyle right here is not going to be able to show up and do what he does, and we're not even going to be able to do track day. So $5, $10, whatever you can spare, trust me, we thank you so much for it. And if you happen to be at the track, you might be lucky enough if you donate. I forget what the minimum donation order is. I might have to ask Ulrich again. It might be $350, $400. Dude, you get a 2-up ride with the legend Chris. He'll show you the proper way and how deep you can actually go with somebody on the back, dude. It's yes, dude. So Chris, when you listen to this, dude, I need that 2-up ride for sure. STG. Big shout out to Drippin' Wet Graphics, Venom Undersuits, V121pro.com, which is my buddy Mike the Spike Edward out there, and he's a 6-time BSB champ, dude. He's a freaking legend. He does coaching now too as well over there in the UK. So any of my mates over there across the pond, look no further than him. And last but not least, all my friends, Scott and all the girls at BTR. Man, what an amazing program we have there with them. I'm so excited to meet everybody this year and can't wait. But Kyle, it's been a lot of fun. Tell everybody where they can find you on all the socials, the website to your engineering and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, right, is so we own Adrenaline Engineering. So it's adrenalineengineering.com, so contact us thing. But we do a lot of consulting for race teams, right? It's kind of the biggest thing we do. Design custom components. If you want a different triple tree or linkage or different valving, different setup, want us just to look at your data. Something like that. It's we offer basically engineering services or factory level services, and being able to bring that stuff and at that level with that knowledge down to your local club racers or smaller teams or whatever. It's kind of what we specialize in, what we have fun doing. So between me and my wife, so we're helping out a handful of teams throughout the different classes this year between her and I. So so we'll. adrenalineengineering.com. Follow my racing stuff on Kyle Ohnsorg Racing on Instagram. trying to post more. Not really a super outgoing person, but we're working on it. But yeah, that and all our sponsors. So Tab Performance, Adrenaline Engineering, Arai, In Gear Moto. Get all your moto stuff there if you want a new helmet, whatever. Dudes are awesome to work with. SNS Cycle, Indian Motorcycles, and then Dunlop. So not a great salesman with that stuff, but yeah, we're just trying our best to just keep the sport growing. Keep doing what we love and make it so that people can continue to make a living doing it. So
absolutely, man.
yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you for all that you do, giving us us riders a voice, right? And get everyone to know the riders, and that goes a long ways. So thank you for doing that, taking the time out of your busy day.
Listen, the honor's on mine, Kyle. I appreciate it, but you got to do me one favor when you win on the bagger this year. You got to pull up when they interview and say, if you're not first, you're last. Let's go, right? Yeah, the Ricky Bobby saying, let's go. Yeah, I love it. Oh my God.
We had the Fig Newton sticker on the front of the bagger for the MotoGP race, and we were heading up to the line, and Rocco he passes me, looks back, does a double take on it at the front, and he goes like this, and I'm like what the hell are you doing? And he's pointing to the front thing on his bike, and I point to it, the Fig Newton thing, and start laughing. It's pretty good.
I love it, man.
So,
I love it. I love it.
Not too far off of that. But.
Oh my God. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor on this Friday evening. Well, yeah, early evening for me, early evening for him too. And wherever you're at around the world, if you had not yet, please go to my Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You guys know the drill. Hit that like and that expel bell. It means a lot. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to sit down today with the legend, Kyle Ohnsorg. Did I say it right? Ohnsorg. Ohnsorg. Man, I'm gonna get it, man.
Ohnsorg. We'll get it. We'll get it.
I'll promise you next one I'll get it down. It's Ohnsorg. Ohnsorg. Okay, I got it. But thank you so much, my man. Yeah, just stay on with me for 1 second. We'll go ahead and schedule our next one. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Oh, and this will be out on Spotify, iHeart, all that good stuff tomorrow. So, all right, let me.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.